And the first speaker after me will be Kathy Rand. So walk this way, Kathy. Kathy Rand is a co-leader of the Norman chapter of Citizens Climate Lobby. She earned her Ph.D. in biological science from the University of Pittsburgh in 1984. She continued her postdoctoral study there and then at the University of Wisconsin through 1989. A longtime environmentalist, Dr. Rand became active in the area of climate change a few years ago, joined the Norman chapter of Citizens Climate Lobby, and became its co-leader in 2012. She has attended 15 hours of lectures on climate issues at OU and OSU, including 3 lectures from researchers who have contributed to the IPCC Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change reports, and there have been 5 so far, and there will be more. She helped to organize the chapter's writing of op-eds and letters to the editor, 27 since 2011, including 4 that she authored herself. Kathy Rand.
Thanks for coming. We come together today 44 years since the first Earth Day, and we face climate change, the most serious challenge the world is likely to face in our lifetimes. For me, it's a personal challenge. After I earned the Ph.D. in biological sciences, my husband and I had 2 children, later diagnosed with disabilities. And I put my career on hold for the last 24 years and worked intensely so they could make it on their own. And now that they're doing well, I've been able to rethink how to devote the rest of my time to make a real difference. So without a doubt, climate change looms as the most serious challenge for all of us and that my sons will face. Will we need to leave Oklahoma to escape the heat, drought, and wildfires? Where will we go? No place will be untouched by climate disasters. And of course, people with any health or financial challenge will face extraordinary hardships as well. So here I am. The basic science surrounding climate change has been clear for many years. We know that carbon dioxide is a greenhouse gas. We know that it's released into the atmosphere from burning fuel. And since the Industrial Revolution, there's about 43% more CO2 in the atmosphere. And we also know that the overwhelming majority of the increased CO2 in the atmosphere is from burning fossil fuels. Just 1 week ago, EPA released another inventory of U.S. greenhouse gas emissions, and 95% of our CO2 emissions are from burning fossil fuels. The reality of climate change is upon us. 97% of climate scientists conclude that human activity is the cause of climate change and that CO2 emissions are the primary source. So what do? We need to transform our energy system away from burning fossil fuels and toward clean energy, wind, solar, water, and geothermal power. But how? We need to create the political will. We need to transform ourselves to engage effectively with the media, our elected officials, and our neighbors. This is what we do in Citizens Climate Lobby, and we ask you to join us. We are focusing on a free market solution, a revenue-neutral, steadily rising fee on CO2 emissions with 100% of the revenue rebated back to households evenly. There's support for a carbon fee on both the left and the right, from Senators Barbara Boxer and Bernie Sanders, but also from Reagan Secretary of State George Shultz and Romney Economic Advisor Greg Mankiw. So we have a solid chance to create a political coalition to get it done. Here's how our carbon fee and dividend works. First you put a fee on fossil fuels that would be charged when they enter the economy, at the wellhead, at the mine, or the port of entry. The fossil fuel industries, of course, would just increase prices for all of us. but the fee would be rebated to all of us evenly to offset the increased prices. Now, most of us have a carbon footprint that's lower than average, and we'll get back more than the increased price from the fee. Those who have a high carbon footprint won't get enough back to offset their increased costs, so they'll be looking for ways to reduce their carbon footprint to save money. The fossil fuel industries will see that this is costing them money, and they'll be looking for ways to shift to clean energy to avoid the fee. And the fee goes up higher every year. So there's a free market incentive for all of us to shift to clean energy. Border adjustments would protect American businesses and encourage other countries to collect carbon fees as well. But how do we actually create the political will? We need to engage the media, write op-eds, letters to the editor, and meet with editorial boards. We need to reach out and share the urgency of climate change with community groups. We need to write letters, meet with members of Congress, both in their home districts and in Washington, D.C. These are the tools to take back our democracy and transform to a clean energy system. So, here's what I ask of each of you today. Before you leave, would each of you write 3 or 4 sentences to your member of Congress? We have maps to look it up if you don't know who it is. Let him know that you're concerned about climate change. It's real, and we need to act. Then ask if your member of Congress would support a fee on carbon emissions that is rebated 100% back to households. We know what we need to do. We just need the political will to do it. It's up to us.